Hello there, and welcome to Freaky Friday, a deep dive into what makes this mother-daughter body swap comedy highly impactful and timelessly relevant. Mary Rodgers' 1972 children's novel Freaky Friday has had quite a strong legacy in pop culture throughout the decades. Rodgers wrote the screenplay for the first film adaptation of her novel. The movie, starring Barbara Harris and Jodie Foster, was released in 1976 by Walt Disney Productions. Disney would go on to remake this movie 3 more times. There was a made-for-TV version produced by Walt Disney Television that premiered in 1995, the 2003 remake done by Walt Disney Pictures starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, and most recently in 2018, another made-for-TV version, but this time it was a musical that premiered on the Disney Channel.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Disney clearly has had a fascination with Mary Rodgers' mother-daughter body swap concept over the years, but I believe that on one of these 4 attempts, they absolutely nailed it. And I think you can guess which one I'm referring to. The 2003 Freaky Friday remake, directed by Mark Waters, is not just a great interpretation of the Freaky Friday concept, it's straight up a spectacular movie. It ranks among my top 10 favorite films of all time. I was 9 when this movie came out. I know we all have nostalgia bias for things we loved as a kid, but I've only come to appreciate Freaky Friday more and more as the years have gone by. After countless viewings, I can't see myself ever getting tired of it. There isn't any other movie that is 100% guaranteed to make me both laugh and cry every single time I watch it. The script is so high quality, balancing humor and emotion with such precision, and the delivery is perfection, bringing vibrant life to the writing. So much that the movie is still incredibly funny and touching after repeat viewings. The movie in general has aged really well over the years. Aside from this, of course. So, what exactly is it that makes this version of Freaky Friday so good? Freaky Friday has always been about stepping into someone else's shoes and the relationship between mother and daughter, but surprisingly in the novel, the mother is not present for most of the story's events, as the focus is much more on the daughter's experience in the mother's body. In the 1976 movie, Mary Rodgers got to spend time exploring the mother's side of things, as the film follows both characters throughout the day. But they still don't interact with each other once they've swapped bodies. The mother does get to do a sick water skiing sequence though. This is where the 2003 remake is most different from its predecessors, aside from being modernized. Tess and Anna wake up in each other's bodies and immediately interact and continue to do so throughout the day. This narrative adjustment allows for a much more nuanced, impactful, and entertaining film. And most importantly, it opens the floor for Tess and Anna to clash, develop, work together, and ultimately heal their relationship. More on this later. The other thing that puts this movie ahead was the decision for Anna's father to have passed away 3 years prior to the film's events. This, combined with the impending wedding of Tess and Ryan, provides the core source of the conflict between Tess and Anna. Not to mention, their body swap happens the day before Tess and Ryan are supposed to get married, adding some pretty urgent stakes to the plot.
I can't marry Ryan! Ew!
Now, I'm just theorizing a little bit, but I believe that when Anna's father died, she probably closed herself off from the rest of the family. Her brother Harry would have been quite young at the time, so he was most likely impacted in a different way than Anna. And of course, Tess would have thrown herself into her work to deal with the pain. This created a rift and a distance between the two of them that seems to have only gotten bigger with time. They both feel that the other doesn't understand them, because they are completely consumed by their own lives and don't pay attention to each other. The funny thing about this is that they're both justified in feeling that the other doesn't pay attention due to self-centeredness. Both of them are correct in their accusations of the other, while also being guilty of doing the very same thing all at once. This has also led to Tess and Anna filling in some of the blanks about each other in their own minds, so they have a caricatured mental image of each other. Because of this lack of attention from the other, Tess and Anna are probably feeling a little unloved and alone, particularly Anna, since Tess does have Ryan. This tie between love and attention reminds me of a scene from Greta Gerwig's 2017 directorial debut, Lady Bird, another film appropriately centered on a struggling mother-daughter relationship. In this scene, Lady Bird's teacher is talking to her about her college essay that she wrote about her hometown of Sacramento. From her writing, Lady Bird's teacher concludes that she clearly must love Sacramento, when we as the audience have been led to believe the opposite. Lady Bird shrugs it off by saying, "Sure, I guess I pay attention," and her teacher responds with,
"Don't you think maybe they are the same thing? Love and attention?"
I remember watching this in the theater and audibly going, huh. The details that you take in and remember about a person or a place, and what you choose to prioritize and focus on, says more than anything else at the end of the day. And while I'm sure that Tess and Anna would say that they love each other, it sure doesn't feel like it at the moment, because they are not paying attention to each other at all. Of course, life can get hectic, and you can't always expect people to be fully able to achieve the level of attention you might crave, but it's important to at least make an effort. Even just a quick conversation as a check-in. I think that would have done wonders for Tess and Anna, to know that despite their crazy lives, they're on each other's minds, and they care. To Tess, Anna is a self-absorbed, dramatic, bratty teenager, so even though we know Anna has valid explanations as to why she was sent to detention twice in one day, Tess dismisses them. To Tess, Anna thinks everyone is out to get her and ruining her life. So the conflicts with Mr. Bates and Stacy Hinkhouse must be imagined by Anna and are no one's fault but her own. There's even a clear difference in how Tess treats Harry versus how she treats Anna. Granted, Harry is younger, but Tess automatically assumes that Anna's responsible for every quarrel between them. Tess is so completely immersed in her work and her upcoming wedding, and if it wasn't clear that she was distracted before, we see her drive down a do not enter lane and pop her tires. Could her pop tires possibly be a metaphor for her relationship with her daughter? Sorry about that. We learn that Tess is a therapist, which is sort of ironic considering she has no idea how to navigate her relationship with her own daughter. I'm sure Dr. Coleman is wonderful at her job, but I guess sometimes it really is the things closest to us that we have trouble seeing. On the flip side, Anna views Tess as a harsh control freak and resents her on the basis of feeling like she got over her late husband far too quickly. In their fight at the restaurant, Anna mockingly apologizes for being the one thing in her mom's life that isn't perfect, and Tess is floored that Anna believes her life is perfect. It's also very apparent when Anna has to go on the Dottie Robertson show in her mother's body that she doesn't have the faintest idea what her book is about. She doesn't even know how to pronounce the title. I know Anna's only 15, but it would suck for Tess to work so hard on something and have her daughter literally not care at all. I think that Anna has dealt with so much pain surrounding her dad's death that it's been hard for her to consider how it affected Tess as well. Tess is remarrying after just 3 years, and Anna is bothered by this. I get it, she's so young, and she's probably clinging to the memory of her dad while feeling like he's being replaced. But Tess isn't trying to replace him, and the problem is that they've never been able to fully talk about it. Tess brings up Anna's dad to her multiple times throughout the movie, and Anna refuses to engage each time. This is in part because I'm sure it's too painful to discuss, but the other reason that Anna actually voices is that she doesn't like talking to her mom about her problems because since her mom is a therapist, she fears being treated like one of her patients.
This is about your dad, isn't it?
Mom, stop shrinking me.
Tess and Anna's conflict boils over when the issue of the Wango Tango auditions comes up. Honestly, Anna's put in a terrible position here, stuck between her mom's rehearsal dinner and a huge opportunity for her band. And the audition doesn't just affect her friends are counting on her as well. I do want to point out that it's not like Tess and Anna actually hate each other. They do have nice moments, but they're eclipsed by their conflicts. When Tess initially finds out about the audition, she's genuinely happy for Anna. It's only when she finds out it's during her rehearsal dinner that things get ugly. Tess and Anna's inability to empathize with the other is perfectly illustrated in this dialogue.
And what I hear is that my special night means absolutely nothing to you.
Oh, I don't even have to ask if my band means anything to you.
It's understandably hurtful for both of them that the other doesn't seem to care that much about important events in their lives. But they're failing to realize their hypocrisy. And that's when Pepe's mother takes notice and decides to gift them with an extremely drastic solution. Magic fortune cookies that will cause them to switch bodies. I love how she witnessed them arguing for 10 seconds and thought, let me ruin their lives real quick, no big deal. Love her. This is where I'd like to acknowledge one of the few flaws that Freaky Friday has. The novel and the 1976 film never felt the need to explain what caused the body swap to happen. The mother and daughter simply wished the other could see what life was like for them, and some sort of unidentified magic made it happen. I totally get the writers wanting to provide a source for the Switch in the modernized version, but what they ended up choosing could have been better, to say the least. Having the Switch be caused by fortune cookies and calling it strange Asian voodoo is maybe a little racist, you know?
She did something.
Some strange Asian voodoo.
And it's not even an all-encompassing answer to how Tess and Anna were able to switch bodies, because where did these magic fortune cookies come from? Does Pepe's mother just have a secret supply of these things she offers to anyone she sees arguing in her restaurant? She even tries to offer them to Grandpa and Harry at the end of the movie. I know it's a comedic parallel and a gag, and it is funny when Pepe tackles them, but why would Pepe's mother offer these fortune cookies out so casually? Especially after she got in trouble for doing it to Tess and Anna a day before Tess's wedding. So anyways, not a great moment with the fortune cookies. Although, the existence of the fortune gives Tess and Anna a way to switch back. Pepe later lets them know that when the fortune comes true, they'll change back. And what is it they must achieve?
Selfless love will change you back.
Oh, so their biggest, most prevalent issue.
Perfect.
So once Tess and Anna realize they've switched bodies and connected to the earthquake only they felt at the restaurant the night before, they accept that they must make it through the morning as each other. It would be much easier to stay home, but of course they both have pressing matters they can't miss out on. Anna's being her honors qualifying exam and being on the verge of suspension, and Tess with her needy patient Evan. Obviously they'd rather not be each other, but due to their inaccurate views of each other, they both think it shouldn't be that hard to pose as the other.
Watch me. Oh, everyone's out to get me. You're ruining my life.
Well, it's easy to be you. I'll just suck the fun out of everything.
I do not suck the fun out of everything.
Fun sucker.
On the car ride that morning, they each take the opportunity to voice things they don't like about the person whose body they're in, and Anna goes extra hard when she says this.
Great, we're getting married, isn't it? Even though my husband died. How quickly I've been able to get over it.
This is the first honest insight we have into how Anna feels about her mom getting married. I love this scene because it uses entertaining comedic dialogue to reveal things about the characters to us. Tess even discovers that sometimes it is her precious Harry who starts the fights between him and Anna. The very first things Tess and Anna do as each other is fix something they don't like about the other's life. Tess cuts things off with Jake, who she has quickly judged and decided she doesn't approve of, and Anna gives Tess's body a full makeover after previously voicing that she doesn't think she has a good sense of style. Plus, is it really an early 2000s movie without a fashion montage? The first eye-opening moment for Tess posing as Anna comes when she tries to be all buddy-buddy with Stacy. Tess quickly finds that Stacy does in fact suck. And later in class, she's on the receiving end of Mr. Bates' vendetta against Anna. Suddenly it doesn't seem like Anna was being so dramatic about the situations in her life. And luckily, Tess realizes what Mr. Bates' problem is, as it has to do with her rejecting him back when they went to high school together, and she tells him off in a satisfying scene. What follows is an even more eye-opening moment for Tess. When she tells Anna's friends that she won't be able to do the band audition, She gets to hear what Anna's friends think of her firsthand, and more importantly, she gets to hear just what Anna thinks of her. This moment puts a twinge in my heart because Tess and Anna obviously know they have issues with each other, but they often dismiss what the other has to say. In this scene, Tess gets to hear exactly what Anna thinks from someone other than Anna, and you can tell it really affects her. Later, when the exam is taking place, Tess further gets to see just how much Stacy sucks. She thinks she solved the problem with her therapy communication tactics, but she's quickly proved wrong when Stacy frames her for cheating. Jake offers to help her finish the exam even after she told him off earlier, and this begins to shift Tess's opinion of him. When Tess is finishing the exam, she sees an opportunity for revenge on Stacy and takes it. It really didn't take long for Tess to experience what Anna deals with and act out in retaliation. And the funny thing is, I don't think Anna herself would have stooped this low. Jake clearly isn't a fan of what Tess did, and he lets her know this. As Tess started to approve of Jake, he in turn began to disapprove of her. Anna's day living as Tess isn't quite as revealing as Tess's day as Anna, but she still gets to see exactly what her mother deals with every day between the insanely busy schedule and the challenging therapy patients. I'm sure she got some insight into why Tess is so tightly wound much of the time. The difference is that Anna never claimed to be able to handle Tess's daily activities the way Tess said she'd be able to live as Anna with ease. Anna is only 15 after all, so it's not surprising that she can't be a convincing therapist or discuss her book on live television. Anna's performance at the Dottie Robertson show is extremely fun and entertaining, but Anna definitely isn't thinking about how her actions are going to affect her mom's career that she's worked so hard for. I want to veer off the Tess and Anna path for a moment to talk about how their switch positively affected many of the relationships in their lives aside from just the one between them. One of the best moments in Anna's day as Tess is when she goes to Harry's parent-teacher meeting and gets to read a paper Harry wrote on who he admires most. And she was touched to find that it was about her. Afterwards, when she tells Harry she read the paper, he tells her not to tell Anna about it because they have too much fun fighting. This will make future life between Anna and Harry much better because even though they'll still fight, Anna will know Harry's positive feelings about her beneath it all, and I'm sure she'll go easier on him in retaliation. Then there's Jake. His role is pretty comedic in the way that he keeps changing his mind between liking Anna and Tess, and as weird as it is to see him be into a 45-year-old woman, I think it's a good sign that he actually follows the true Anna every time. From the outside, he looks like a wacko who can't make up his mind, but it's really proof of how much he likes Anna, and Tess sees this.
I'll give you one thing, he definitely likes you for your mind.
By the way, why do Jamie Lee Curtis and Chad Michael Murray have so much chemistry? Tess, who previously disapproved of Jake, comes to find that he's a good guy, and that he appreciates Anna for who she is, and the wild events of the day lead to the opportunity for Jake and Anna to start over and be together once she's back in her own body. I do wish Jake wasn't so old. I'm not sure why he couldn't just be a student at the school, but that's my only complaint here. The most important outside relationship that gets developed is the one between Anna and Ryan. Anna has always given the cold shoulder to Ryan despite his attempts to be nice to her and help her out, and it's not because she actually has a problem with him, it's because she doesn't want her dad to be replaced. Anna has her stance on Ryan majorly transformed when her friends crash the rehearsal dinner to take her to the House of Blues for the audition. Anna assumes Ryan doesn't care about her band at all, but he shocks her when he tells her to go to the audition. This conversation follows.
The role of insensitive stepfather who couldn't care less or thinks it's a stupid rock band or any of the preposterous things you just said.
I never pushed Anna because I want her to like me on her own terms, in her own way.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Then Ryan says Tess should be with Anna at the show, supporting her, and that's where he wants her to be. This shows a genuine care from Ryan for Anna and her interests, and not only that, but he knows how important it is for Tess to be there supporting Anna. Hearing the way that Ryan respects that Tess comes with a family and a history goes a long way in helping Anna come to terms with welcoming Ryan into their family. The fact that she comes back after leaving to kiss him on the cheek confirms how her views have been changed. And we'll get to hear from Anna about her new thoughts on Ryan a little bit later. Back to our mother-daughter duo, it's really the events at the House of Blues that change everything. Tess and Anna both experienced the day as each other, and while it was largely eye-opening, They still haven't quite learned to love each other selflessly.
Okay, I'm being selfless. Are you being selfless?
Yeah, I'm being selfless.
Well, you're not doing a very good job of it because we're still here.
The push from Ryan landed them in this situation, and now it's in their hands. Tess is understandably freaking out as she's been put in the position of performing an instrument she has no idea how to play, but she goes on stage with the band anyways. Needless to say, it doesn't go very well. But then Anna shows up. She tells Tess she unplugged her, so all she has to do is go out there and fake it. Here's another gripe I have. How is it that we're supposed to believe Anna knows who Keith Richards is, but has no idea who Stevie Nicks is?
Just go out there and act like Keith. Keith, right, yeah. Richard's mom! I knew that. I look like Stevie Nicks.
Who's he?
When Anna plays her guitar solo in Tess's body from backstage, it's a glorious moment. Anna's bandmates are relieved, the crowd is cheering, and Tess looks over and looks at her daughter in awe. Not only did she just save her from letting everyone down, but you can tell that there's a lot of admiration from Tess. It's like in this moment, Tess realized that her daughter is awesome. And a round of applause for Lindsay Lohan in this scene. She is perfect and hilarious. She even curtsies when the song is over. I love this scene because not only does Pink Slip absolutely slap, but this is really the first time we see Tess and Anna working together as a team. They have this crazy, thrilling experience together, and it's gratifying to watch. There's a wonderful moment between them once the show is over.
It's exciting, your music.
It's not noise.
Most definitely not noise.
Anna is visibly giddy to hear this from her mother. Music is Anna's passion and she's talented at it, and it's really lovely to see her get this acknowledgement and support from Tess that I'm sure she's just longed for. Tess and Anna return to the rehearsal dinner on a high, and then for Tess, it comes crashing back down. She tells Anna it's clear that they aren't switching back that night, so she requests that Anna ask Ryan to postpone the wedding. This moment hurts because firstly, Tess isn't able to do it herself, which is the whole problem. So she has to ask Anna to be as gentle as possible with him, knowing he'll understand because he's a great guy. Second, Tess isn't just deciding to postpone the wedding because of the body swap. From what she's discovered throughout the day, she says she can see Anna isn't ready for this and admits that maybe she let her happiness found with Ryan overtake what was best for the kids. Anna initially objects, but Tess is insistent, and this is Tess's moment of selfless love. She is actively choosing to put her wedding on hold for the sake of her kids, and it's clearly an extremely difficult thing for her to do, but she's determined for it to happen. This scene really makes my throat tighten and my eyes water, and Lindsay shines in her performance here as the emotion comes through perfectly. Anna tells her mom she knows exactly what to say, knowing she has no intention of doing what her mom just asked, because after her impactful conversation with Ryan, and after her mom just put herself through the ringer for her at the House of Blues, it's Anna's turn to be selfless, and so she heads over to Ryan. But instead of pulling him aside to talk, she tells him to sit down and gets everyone's attention in the room to make a speech. Anna's speech is the sweetest thing. It's really just stunning. This is Anna finally letting her mom in and letting her know how she feels.
And what she feels is that no one could ever take the place of her dad. Because he was a really great dad.
And of course, her feelings have changed a lot over the course of the day. But honestly communicating with Tess and letting her know that she's ready for their family to move forward with Ryan instead of calling off the wedding is Anna's moment of selfless love. And my god, is it touching. It's my favorite scene in the entire movie. I really don't think I've ever made it through this scene without crying. As much as Jamie Lee Curtis nails the comedic moments throughout the movie, in my opinion, this is her best scene. The dialogue is believable and wonderfully delivered, and the emotion comes through in all the right places.
Anna really wanted her mom to know that.
And now the fortune has come true. Tess and Anna have achieved selfless love for one another, and it came when neither of them was even thinking about switching back. They were driven to act out of pure love and concern for the other, and that, of course, was the whole point. Once they've switched back to their own bodies, Anna continues speaking, but as herself finally. She makes sure to let Ryan know that she accepts him and congratulates him and her mom. And the next day at the wedding, all is well. I love the shot of Tess and Anna as they look at each other. There's so much love and light between them now. It's heartwarming and infectious. Knowing they can embark on this new chapter of life for their family with the deepest kind of empathy and understanding for one another is really a fantastic thing. And so, the journey concludes, as does my commentary. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on what makes the 2003 remake of Freaky Friday such an effective and satisfying movie. It remains one of the funniest, most touching explorations of the relationship between a mother and daughter, and if you haven't seen it in a while, I encourage you to revisit it. Check out the channel for more analysis videos like this one, or check out the ranked series and the trivia episodes. I also have the playlist linked in the description down below. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on Freaky Friday, or let me know what your favorite early 2000s movie is. It truly was a great time in cinema. Consider hitting like or subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.